Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's reading session. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Reading from Chapter 6, Continuation. In this Tadekatma Rupa, there are two divisions also. One is called Swamsha. Both in the Vilasa and Swamsha forms, there are again many differential features, which are also divided into Prabhava and Vaibhava. As far as the Vilasa forms are concerned, there are innumerable Prabhava Vilasas. Krishna expands himself as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Sometimes the Lord thinks himself a cowherd boy, and sometimes he thinks himself the son of Vasudeva, a Kshatriya, and this thinking of Krishna is called pastimes. In his Prabhava Prakasha and Prabhava Vilasa, he is in the same form but appears differently as Krishna and Baladeva. His expansion as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha mentioned above is in the original Chaturvyuha or four-armed forms. There are innumerable four-armed manifestations in different planets and different places. For instance, these four-armed manifestations are both in Dwaraka and Mathura eternally. And from these four forms, originally, there are the principal 24 forms named differently in terms of the different adjustments of the symbols held in the hands, and they are called Vaibhava Vilasa. The same four formal manifestations of Krishna are on each planet of the spiritual sky called the Narayana Loka or Vaikuntha Loka. In the Vaikuntha Loka, he is manifested in a four-handed form called Narayana. And from each Narayana, there is a manifestation of the four forms mentioned above Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Therefore, Narayana is in the center, and the four forms surround the Narayana form. Each of the four forms again expands into three, and they all have their different names, beginning from Keshava. They are 12 in number. Such forms are known by different names according to the different placements of the symbols in the hands of Narayana. As far as the Vasudeva form is concerned, the three expansions are Keshava, Narayana, and Madhava. The three forms of Govinda are known as Govinda, Vishnu, and Sri Madhusudana. It should be noted, however, that this Govinda form is not the same Govinda form as manifested in Vrindavan as the son of Nanda. Similarly, Pradyumna is also divided into three forms known as Trivikrama, Vamana, and Sridhara. And similarly, there are three forms of Aniruddha known as Hrishikesha, Padmanabha, and Damodara. Chapter 7, entitled Unlimited Forms of Godhead. These 12 different Vaikuntha forms of Lord Krishna are known as the predominating deities for the 12 months. According to the Vaishnava almanac, the months are called by the different names of Krishna. This calendar begins from the month of Margashirsha, equivalent to late October November. The month of November is known by the Vaishnavas as Keshava. December is called Narayana. January is called Madhava. And February is Govinda. March is Vishnu. April Vasudeva. May Trivikrama. And June Vamana. July is called Sridhara. August Hrishikesha. September is called Padmanabha. And October is Damodara. This Damodara is different from the Damodara in Vraja. The name Damodara was given when Krishna was bound by ropes by his mother, but the Damodara form in the month of October is a different manifestation. Similarly, the Vaishnava community marks different parts of the body, and each mark is known by one of these 12 different names of the Supreme Lord. The mark on the forehead is called Keshava, and on the belly, the breast, and on the arms there are different names, the same as those of the months. The four forms Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are also expanded in the Vilasa Murti. These are eight in number, and their names are Purushottama, Achyuta, Narasimha, Janardana, Hari, Krishna, Adhokshaja, and Upendra. Out of these eight names, two names, Adhokshaja and Purushottama, are the Vilasa or forms of Vasudeva. Similarly, Upendra and Achyuta are the forms of Sankarshana. Narasimha and Janardana are the Vilasa forms of Pradyumna, and Hari and Krishna are the two Vilasa forms of Aniruddha. This Krishna is different from the original Krishna. These 24 forms are known as the Vilasa manifestations of Prabhava, four-handed form, and they are differently named according to the different position of the symbolic representations, that is, the mace, the disc, the lotus flower, and the conch shell. Out of these 24 forms, there is also a division of Vilasa and Vaibhava. Names mentioned herein, such as Pradyumna, Trivikrama, Vamana, Hari, and Krishna, are also different in features. Then, coming to the Prabhava Vilasa of Krishna, which is Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, there are a total of 20 further variations. All of them have Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, which are situated in eight different directions. And although each of them is eternally in the spiritual sky, still some of them manifest in the material world also. In the spiritual sky, all the planets dominated by the feature of Narayana are eternal, and the topmost planet in the spiritual sky is called Krishna Loka. That Krishna Loka is divided into three different portions: Gokul, Mathura, and Dwaraka. In the Mathura portion, the form of Keshava is always situated. He is also represented on this earthly planet. In India, there is a place called Mathura where Keshava Murti is worshipped. And similarly, there is a Purushottama form in Jagannath Puri in Orissa. In Anandaranya, there is the form of Vishnu, and in Mayapur, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, there is the form of Hari. Many other forms are situated elsewhere on this earthly planet. Not only in this universe, but in all the other universes, such forms are distributed everywhere. On this earthly planet also, it is indicated that all the world is divided into seven islands, and it is understood that on each and every island there are similar forms. But at the present moment, they are found only in India. They are indicated to be in other parts of the world, but at the present there is no information telling where they are situated. But from Vedic literature, we can understand that there are forms in other parts of the world. These different forms of Krishna are distributed all over the world and the universes to give pleasure to the devotees. Not that the devotees are only born in India. Actually, in all parts of the world, there are devotees who have simply forgotten their identity. Such forms incarnate come not only to give pleasure to the devotee, but to re-establish devotional service and to perform other activities which vitally concern the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some of them are incarnations as mentioned in the scriptures, such as the Vishnu incarnation, Trivikrama incarnation, Narasimha incarnation, and Vamana incarnation. In the Siddhartha Samhita, there is a description of the 24 forms of Vishnu named differently in terms of the different symbolic representations in the four hands. When describing the different positions of paraphernalia in the hands of Vishnu Murti, the counting should begin first with the lower right hand, then to the upper right hand, next to the upper left hand, and lastly to the lower left hand. In this way, Vasudeva is represented by club, conch shell, wheel, and lotus flower. Sankarshana is represented by club, conch shell, lotus flower, and wheel. Similarly, Pradyumna is represented by wheel, conch shell, club, and lotus flower. Aniruddha is represented by wheel, club, conch shell, and lotus flower. In the spiritual sky, the representations of Narayana, 20 in number, are calculated as follows. Hrishikesha is represented by conch shell, wheel, flower, and club. Narayana is represented by conch shell, lotus flower, club, and wheel. Sri Madhava is represented by club, wheel, conch shell, and lotus flower. Sri Govinda is represented by wheel, club, lotus flower, and conch shell. Vishnumurti is represented by club, lotus flower, conch shell, and wheel. Madhusudana is represented by wheel, conch shell, lotus flower, and club. Trivikrama is represented by lotus flower, club, wheel, and lotus flower. Sridhara Trivikrama is represented by lotus flower, club, wheel, and conch shell. Sridhara is represented by lotus flower, wheel, club, and conch shell. Padmanabha is represented by conch shell, lotus flower, wheel, and club. Damodara is represented by lotus flower, wheel, club, and conch shell. Purushottama is represented by wheel, lotus flower, conch shell, and club. Sri Achyuta is represented by club, lotus flower, wheel, and conch shell. Sri Narasimha is represented by wheel, lotus flower, club, and conch shell. Janardana is represented by lotus flower, wheel, conch shell, and club. Sri Hari is represented by conch shell, wheel, lotus flower, and club. Sri Krishna is represented by conch shell, club, lotus flower, and wheel. Adhokshaja is represented by lotus flower, club, conch shell, and wheel. Upendra is represented by conch shell, club, wheel, and lotus flower. According to Hayashirsha Pancharatra, there are 16 forms and they're all different in name in terms of the wheel and club being differently situated. The conclusion is that the supreme original personality of Godhead is Krishna. He is called Leela Purushottama and he is principally in Vrindavan as the son of Nanda. It is also learned from the Hayashirsha Pancharatra that nine forms are protecting two Puris, known as Mathurapuri and Dwarakapuri. The four forms of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, and besides these four forms, there are Narayana forms, Narasimha forms, Hayagriva forms, Varaha forms, and Brahma. The above descriptions are different manifestations of the Prakasha and Vilasa forms of Lord Krishna. Now, Lord Chaitanya informs Sanatana Goswami that there are different forms of the Swamsha also. Swamsha forms are divided into the Sankarshana division and the Incarnation division. From the Sankarshana division come the three Purusha avatars, the Karanodaka Shayi Vishnu, Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, and Kshirodaka Shayi Vishnu. The other division is called Leela avatars, such as the Lord's incarnation as a fish, a tortoise, etc. There are six kinds of incarnations. 1. The Purusha Avatara incarnations. 2. The Leela Avatara incarnation. 3. The Guna Avataras. 4. The Manu Avataras. 5. The Yuga Avatara. And 6. The Shaktyavesha Avatara. Out of the six kinds of the Vilasa manifestations of Krishna, there are two divisions based on his age. They are called Balya and Pauganda. The original form of Krishna, as the son of Nanda, enjoys in two forms of childhood, namely Balya and Pauganda. The conclusion is that there is no end to the expansions and incarnations of Krishna. Here, Lord Chaitanya describes some of them to Sanatana just to give him an idea of how the Lord is expanding and how he is enjoying. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the first canto, third chapter. It is said there that there is no limit to the emanations of incarnations of the Supreme Lord, just as there is no limit to the waves of the ocean. Krishna's first incarnation is as the three Purusha avatars, namely the Mahavishnu or Karanodakashayi Vishnu avatara, Garbhodakashayi avatara, and Kshirodakashayi avatara. This is confirmed in the Satvata Tantra. Krishna's energies are also divisible into three: his energy of thinking, his energy of feeling, and his energy of acting. In his energy of thinking, he is the Supreme Lord. In his energy of feeling, he is Lord Vasudeva. And in his energy of acting, he is Sankarshana Balarama. Without thinking, feeling, and acting, there could be no possibility of the creation. Although there is no creation of the spiritual world, yet there is the creation of this material world. But both the spiritual world and the material world are manifestations of the energy of acting in the form of Sankarshana and Balarama of Krishna. The spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets, and Krishnaloka is situated in his energy of thinking. Although there is no creation of the eternal spiritual world, still it is to be understood that they depend on the thinking energy of the Supreme Lord. This thinking energy is described in the Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, 2nd verse. It is said there that the supreme abode, known as Goloka, is manifested just like a lotus flower with hundreds of petals. Everything is manifested by the Ananta or Balarama or Sankarshana form. The material cosmic manifestation and the different universes are manifest through the Maya or material energy. The material nature or material energy is not the cause of all this cosmic manifestation. It is caused by the Supreme Lord, by his different expansions through the material nature. And without the superintendence of the Supreme Lord, there is no possibility of any creation. The form by which the energy of the material nature works to bring about creation is called Sankarshana. It is understood that under the superintendent energy of the Supreme Lord, this cosmic manifestation is created. This example is given. Iron becomes hot in contact with fire, and when it is red hot, it is just like fire. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 46th chapter, it is said that Rama and Krishna are the origin of all living entities. These two personalities enter into everything. A list of the incarnations occurs in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter, as follows: 1. Kumaras, 2. Narada, 3. Varaha, 4. Matsya, 5. Yajna, 6. Naranarayana, 7. 7. Kapila, 8. Dattatreya, 9. Hayashirsha, 10. Hamsa, 11. Dhruvapriya Prishnigarbha, 12. Rishabha, 13. Pruthu, 14. Narasimha, 15. Kurma, 16. Dhanvantari, 17. Mohini, 18. Vamana, 19. Bhargava, 20. Raghavendra, 21. Vyasa, 22. Pralambari Balarama, 23. Krishna, 24. Buddha, 25. Kalki. Almost all of these 25 Leela avatars appear in one day of Brahma, which is called a Kalpa, and sometimes they are called Kalpa avatars. Out of these, the incarnation of Hamsa and Mohini is not permanent, but Kapila, Dattatreya, Rishabha, Dhanvantri, and Vyasa are five eternal forms, and they are more celebrated. The incarnations of the tortoise, the fish, Naranarayana, Varaha, Hayagriva, Prishnigarbha, and Baladeva are considered as incarnations of Vaibhava. Similarly, there are three incarnations of the qualitative modes of nature. They are called Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of the Manvantara avatars, there are 14. 1. Yajna, 2. Vibhu, 3. Satyasena, 4. Hari, 5. Vaikuntha, 6. Arjita, 7. Vamana, 8. Sarvabhauma, 9. Rishabha, 10. Vishwaksena, 11. Dharmasetu, 12. Sudhama, 13. Yogeshwara, 14. Brihadbhanu. Out of these 14 Manvantara avatars, incarnations, Yajna and Vamana are also Leela avatars. The balance are pastime Manvantara avatars. These 14 Manvantara avatars are also known as Vaibhava avatars. The four Yuga avatars are also described in the Bhagavatam. In the Satya Yuga, the incarnation of God is white. In the Treta Yuga, the incarnation of God is red. In the Dwapara Yuga, the incarnation of God is blackish. And the incarnation in the Kali Yuga is also blackish, but sometimes in a special Kali Yuga, the color is yellowish. So far as the Shaktya-Vesha avatars are concerned, they include Kapila and Rishabha, the Shaktya-Vesha avatara Ananta, Brahma, sometimes the Lord himself becomes Brahma, Satyasena as the incarnation of knowledge, Narada as the incarnation of devotional service, King Pruthu as the incarnation of administrative power, and Rishabha as the incarnation of subduing evil principles. Chapter 8, The Avataras. Lord Chaitanya continued, the expansions of Lord Krishna who come to the material creation are called avatars or incarnations. Avatara means one who descends from the higher spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and from such a planet, the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes into this universe, and therefore he is called Avatara. Avatara means to descend. Avatarana means to descend. The first descent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the expansion of Sankarshana is the Purusha incarnation. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, both in the first canto, third chapter, as well as in the sixth chapter. It is said there that the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends as the first Purusha incarnation for the material creation, and he immediately manifests 16 elementary energies. He is known as Mahavishnu, lying on the causal ocean, and he is the original incarnation in the material world. He is the Lord of time, nature, cause and effect, mind, ego, and the five elements, the three modes of nature, the senses, and the universal form. He is independent and the master of all objects movable and immovable in the material world. The influence of material nature cannot reach beyond the Viraja or causal ocean, and this is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, ninth chapter. On the Vaikuntha planets, there is no influence of the modes of material nature. There is no mixture of the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and neither is there any influence of material time. On those planets, the liberated associates of Krishna live eternally, and they are worshipped both by the demigods and the demons. The material nature acts in two capacities, as Maya and Pradhana. Maya is the direct cause, and Pradhana means the elements of material manifestation. The first Purusha avatara, Mahavishnu, glances over the material nature, and thereby the material nature becomes agitated, and the Purusha avatara thus impregnates matter with the living entities. By this glancing, consciousness is created, and consciousness is known as Mahatattva. The predominating deity of Mahatattva is Vasudeva. Consciousness is then divided into three departmental activities under the three gunas or modes of material nature. Consciousness in the mode of goodness is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, and the predominating deity is called Aniruddha. Consciousness in the mode of material passion produces intelligence, and the predominating deity is called Pradyumna. He is the master of the senses. Consciousness in the mode of ignorance is the cause of production of the ether, the sky, and the cause of production of the hearing instrument, the ear. The cosmic manifestation is the combination of all these, and thereby innumerable universes are created. Nobody can count how many universes there are. We will continue to read in the next session. Thank you for joining. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.